All right, Chris, we are live on Facebook right now, and we will be going to the radio station in just a few minutes. Our special guest for all of our Facebook watchers and listeners tonight is Chris Bilbra from right here in Ooltewah. He is Ooltewah's butcher. Anybody ever called you that yet, Chris?
Nope, not yet. That's
Not
first.
yet. Well, you are Ooltewah's butcher. And Chris owns Spek Artisan Meats in Cambridge Square, our town's town square, so to speak. And Chris will be visiting with us tonight here on the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3 and on Facebook. So we're looking forward to that. Aaron, you going to be able to share that to my page too? All right, good deal. Aaron, our producer here, Chris, he is sharing all the videos to the different places. That's what we're doing, in case you're wondering. And
Awesome.
We've got 4 viewers already on. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Chris Bilbra is our special guest tonight. He and his family own Spek Artisan Meats in Cambridge Square here in Ooltewah. Now we're calling the radio station now, Chris. So,
2021.
hey, Kurt.
Alex Stone, EBC News. The House is expected to vote on the
Can you
COVID
see us
relief
okay?
package. President Biden in Houston.
Hear us okay
Here's
too, Kurt?
an account
Good
from
deal.
Texans.
You know how to turn that voice
heat
down.
for
So
last week's deadly winter weather.
The Federal Emergency Management.
go ahead and turn it down until we're ready to go. Okay.
Millions of gallons of.
Perfect. You're the man, Kurt.
There we go.
All right. That wasn't as bad as it usually is, Chris. That's good.
Good. Good.
We are still live on Facebook. We'll be going live to Talk Radio 102.3 in just a few minutes. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Jeffrey Neal Maxwell back at the remote radio studios of the Barbecue Show Live, manning the chat. Hopefully we'll get some calls tonight, Chris. Everybody on Facebook, if you would rather call, 423-267-1023. You can get on and get on the phone and talk to us just like real people. Just like real people do. Jeff says no sound on Fab on Facebook. What? What? No sound on Facebook. Check. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hang on, let me check mine. No, we got it. Jeff, we got it on my end. Yeah, we're good. All right, Jeff, we got sound on Facebook side, so we're good. Everything's good on the radio. Okay, Jeff said now it's up. All right, good deal. Fantastic, fantastic. Our Facebook watchers and listeners with us. Michael Murphy, how you doing, Mike? One of the homies. Mike Murphy, a Green Mountain Grill owner. Jay Land, are you listening to us?
He's in Korea.
He is in Korea. You know him better than I
Yeah.
do. He'll be home
My little
soon.
brother. What's up, Jay?
That's exciting. We can't wait for that. We can't wait for that.
Right.
Jay says he can hear us fine, too. Big Al Salvage is here. Taking a break, Union Man. I tell you, Al's a good man. He is a good man. Another Green Mountain Grill. Let's see, we've got 2 Green Mountain Grill guys in the chat right now. Now, Michael Murphy watching, he is, folks, you talk about a guy that has gone wild with the grill. He is turning out some really good food, not just barbecue food. I mean, really good home food, soul food, warming food. And I believe I think he's a pretty good customer of yours too, Chris.
Who is it?
Mike Murphy. I believe he likes
That's
to.
pretty. That's a pretty fairly normal name, but I'm sure if he comes in here, I'll know who he is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's really hard these days with the mask because I got used to people's faces before, and now I can't get used to them with masks.
I know what you mean. Now make sure you talk up real good, Chris. Okay, you're a little light on my end, but I think you'll be okay.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
I think you'll be okay. And I'm going to talk up as well. I know sometimes I don't speak up into the microphone, and it's a little hard to hear, but I will remedy that tonight.
Okay, and I'll do my best as well.
Good deal. Wes Phillips joining us, the People's Pitmaster of Smoke Ring Syndicate, in the house. What's up, Wes? How you doing? Good to hear from you. He's our barbecue Facebook partner. BackyardSmokers.com. Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WGOW. News, traffic, and weather. That's a cold, hard fact.
Talk Radio 102.3, WGOW FM.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome to the weekend, and welcome to The Barbecue Show with Steve Ray. The Barbecue Show is brought to you by the Owl's Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop in OOLTEWAH, by the historic Midnight Oil Service Station in OOLTEWAH, by Michelin Tires, because so much is riding on your tires, and by all the great barbecue products and supplies at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop. I know you've got questions, and we've got answers, so pick up the phone, 423-267-1023, and let's talk some barbecue. All right, it's the weekend, and it's time to start smoking and grilling here on the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3 and live right now on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page. It is a barbecue simulcast. Our number is 423-267-1023, 423-267-1023. If you have questions, I've got answers for your grilling, food smoking this weekend. Our broadcast partner is Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook, the #1 destination for questions, answers, and even if you want to post some pictures and do a little bit of bragging, go to Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook. Our buddy Kurt is back at the radio studio producing the show. Aaron Carver is by my side producing the Facebook side of things, and our esteemed friend Jeff Maxwell back at his house monitoring the Facebook chat. Before we get going, I want to remind everybody that you can follow us on Facebook at Owl's Nest Barbecue. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube, Owl's Nest Barbecue, and you can also, this show is actually, we do a podcast every week of the show, so if you miss us, simply go to Spotify, go to the podcast section, and put in Owl's Nest Barbecue, and you can pull it up on podcast as well. Also, if you want to see the interviews that we do, we post them on our YouTube channel as well. We stay in touch, so we want you to be in touch with us, and you can get your calls in at 423-267-1023. I want to before. Yes,
Steve, real quick before you get in with your guests,
sorry,
I said real quick before you get in with your guests, we have a caller. We have a caller. I believe this is the first time in talk radio history we have somebody calling you from Korea. So this is a Jay Land calling you from Korea. You're on the Barbecue Show with Steve Ray.
Hey,
Steve
Jay.
Ray, what are you doing? Talking to Chris Bilbra, two of my closest friends there in OOLTEWAH. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Chris, you can go. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you right now to our listening audience. We've got Chris Bilbra. He is the owner. He and his wife, Sarah, own Spek Artisan Meat in Cambridge Square here in OOLTEWAH. And, Chris, can you believe Jay has joined us from South Korea?
Yeah, his ears must be burning because we've been busy. I need him to get back here so we can put him to work.
Jay, I don't know how to start an interview with somebody from Korea, so I'm going to start it. How are things in South Korea?
You know, it's a unique place right now with the change in the U.S. administration. working with the Korean government here is kind of interesting as they switch from, the Trump to the Biden administration. So we're really having to kind of relook the way we approach business with our rock partners and figure out the best way to get work done. But we're here working hard.
Well, Jay, we miss you, and we wish you were here. And I think you're scheduled to return for good this summer, correct?
Yeah, I'll be back mid-June. So I am actually counting down the days, about 109 days, ready to get back there to the fabulous town of Ooltewah and fall back in my rhythm and go over there and help Chris Bilbra really kind of take Spec to the next level as we work to make sure that folks have great food there in Ooltewah, so we can bring it down there to Midnight Oil and help you guys cook it up.
Well, I tell you, we're gonna talk about that tonight, Jay, here on the show. What a great job they've been doing at Spec. Hey, listen, you stay safe, keep your head down, keep your morale up, and we'll see you this summer. And I suspect we'll have to have a cookout in your honor. Chris, I've got the grills. I'm sure you can find some meat we can throw on them, and we'll just have a throwdown when Jay gets off that big plane. How about that?
That sounds good. I'm sure I can find something out back we can cook for him.
Okay, Jay, you're gonna have to do some work to get to the front meat from the outback
wish you guys
meat.
all the best, and look forward to seeing you soon, guys.
All right, Jay. Thank you
See you,
so
Jay.
much. Appreciate
Stay
it.
safe, brother.
You bet. Thank you, Kurt, for bringing him to our attention. I appreciate it. That's our number. That's how you do it anywhere in the world, 423-267-1023. Before we get back to Chris, I want to tell you how the show works. Somebody asked me this week, how in the world does your show work? First off, we broadcast to Talk Radio 102.3, obviously, on your celestial radio, WGOW. We also simulcast this show to the Facebook page, mine, Owl's Nest Barbecue. That show is live with cameras and production. So you can go to, if you're not by your phone, you can go to Owl's Nest Barbecue, and you can interact with us in the chat. Jeff Maxwell moderates the chat room. You can ask questions there. We put those on the air. And, of course, you can call us through WGOW at 423-267-1023. That's how the show works. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of listeners. We get a lot of viewers. But there's one thing that we always talk about, and that is barbecue and live fire cooking here live every Friday night at 7. Now we're going to get back to Chris Bilbra, my buddy from OOLTEWAH'S Butcher. Now, first of all, Chris, what a couple weeks ago I had Tina Cannon on the show, and besides being a barbecue contest champion, she is quite an accomplished baker as well. And now I've got you, OOLTEWAH'S Butcher. If I could find a candlestick maker, I'd hit the trifecta here. You know it?
Yes, sir. Sounds about right.
What led you down the path to butchery, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So I've been a chef my whole career, and it was always fun for me to do all the butchering, like to get ready for dinner service and stuff. So I was always the one that kind of gravitated toward that, and I was good at it. And so I, continued to do that throughout my career. And we just saw that there was a need for another butcher shop like this, and it was just something we wanted to do forever. And so we just decided to do it.
Well, that's you make it sound like I answered an ad in the back of Grit magazine, and all of a sudden I'm a butcher. I know it's not that easy, but you're not even a year into this yet, are you? Are you, Chris?
No, sir. Our anniversary is May 21st, so we're at 9 months, something like that right now.
Yeah, because Jeff and I were there. We did a live show from your store the night it opened.
That's right, you did.
It was a great show. And I was thinking that it was warm outside when we did it.
Yep.
Chris, I have been in OOLTEWAH for years and years and years, and other than the Chick-fil-A, okay, I'm going to qualify this. Other than Chick-fil-A, your store garnered the most attention and the most talk about in town that I have ever seen before you even opened. Now, how do you think the news got out? And so far, 9 months into this thing, how have you been received?
So, good question. It's been a long road. It has. And I don't even really know how to answer that question, to be honest with you. Business has just kind of fallen into our laps, and it's just been getting busier and busier. As far as word of mouth goes, it's just, we had a lot of friends that we reached out to, and, we bounced it off them, and it kind of spread from there. And then Cambridge Square has a really good marketing team too, and so they helped as well. And I think it just shows that there was a need for us here, and it just kind of spread like wildfire and just keeps spreading, which is amazing.
Well, you're right about the marketing at Cambridge Square. Barry and all the guys and gals there do a great job keeping them in front of the news and in making everybody stay relative down there. But a business doesn't go unless the owner is there and working behind the counter. So it was just amazing that the night that you opened. Your place was packed.
Right.
It was packed with people. You barely had time to do an interview with us, and
right.
So we fast forward to we fast forward to 9 months. Most
right.
Most businesses are still everything's still shiny in the store after 9 months. But what have you added? You opened up with a meat. With the meat counter, and what are the kind of the things that so far in this career that you've picked have you added?
Yeah, so we obviously opened with just the meat market at the beginning, where you could come in as a whole animal butcher shop and get your certain cut of meat, whether it's pork, chicken, fish, whatever. And we did that for a few months, and then about 3 months ago, we finally opened up the deli side for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do lunch now Wednesday through Saturday, 11:30 to 2:30. And it's a pretty chef-driven menu, but the cool thing about our menu is like 90% of the stuff that's on the menu is all local, down to the bread, down to the cheese, everything. And so it's pretty amazing.
So you say all the stuff is local. How do you get before we get to the big meats and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Where are you sourcing the bread and the meats and the cold cuts for the deli side?
Yeah. So all the cold cuts that we have are made here in house. Obviously, not obviously. Everything that, if you ever come into my store, if there's anything that has been made that's in my case, like bacon, sausage, or whatever, has all been made here in house with our recipes and seasonings. So that's the cool thing about that. What was the other question? I'm sorry.
Well, the breads, because I've had a couple sandwiches from your place. People brought them in. They said we're going to go down to Specs. I said, well, grab me a sandwich to go, and the bread is just incredible.
Yeah. So the bread we acquire from Bluffview Bakery downtown. And then like all of our vegetables and stuff come from a farm called Melon Patch Farm down in Chickamauga. We pull cheeses from Sequatchie Cove Creamery. So, we've got a bunch of amazing local businesses here that we'd love to try to use all of them. So that's what we do.
Well, that's fascinating. You keep everything local. Is it hard sourcing from local people, Chris?
Some things, yes. Some things, no. It's hard to... Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Some things are hard to find and some things aren't. And so then I do have to subsidize and go through my food purveyors as a chef to get those kind of things in the case as well.
Yeah. So when So let's get to the big meat so far 9 months in.
Okay.
What everybody wants to know, what's the number one seller at the Spek Artisan meats?
It kind of tosses up between a ribeye and a fillet, but those are probably our biggest sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Just because everybody knows a fillet and everybody knows a ribeye. That's usually one of those two is somebody's favorite, so we sell a lot of those. But as you know, we've got a lot of competition barbecue teams in this area, and so I sell tons of butts and tons of briskets and tons of roast too for those kinds of people.
So where finding a brisket locally has got to be a challenge. Is it?
Right. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear the answer.
Yeah, no worries. So what we do is we actually bring in a whole cow every week or every 2 weeks from a local farm. And so we only have 2 briskets off that cow, right?
Right.
There's only 2 of everything. And so that's when I bring in cases of like certified Angus briskets or prime briskets that I keep that people can purchase once the local is gone.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good idea. So what you were I was watching some pictures on your social media postings, and one of the pictures had one of your employees in the back, and the caption was pulling a fillet. Now, do you actually bring the animals into the back of the shop and butcher them there?
Yeah, so we don't slaughter them here. No, they have to come to me with a USDA stamp that they were processed in a USDA facility.
Right.
And so they're delivered to me in either 6 or 8 pieces, and we take it down from there.
Oh, okay. So there's no there's no hanging animals at Spec.
No hanging animals.
Yeah. I'm not there's anything wrong with that, but it was just you watch television and you watch all the butcher shows on History Channel and Modern Marvels, and I always watch and I always ask, I wonder if that's going on down there at Spec. We ought to go down there and check Chris out, see if he's hacking on a cow or a steer down there.
Yeah, we do break them down, but those bigger places usually have rail systems where they can hang the meat and move it all around the whole entire building on a rail, and we're just not that big.
Not
hey,
yet.
Steve.
Yes, sir.
Steve, let's hit our first break, and also when we get back, we have got Jeff. Jeff, if you'll keep holding on, Jeff from Saudi Daisy has a question for you guys.
Sounds good. You're listening to the Barbecue Show Live with Chris Bilbra, our special guest, owner of Spek Artisan Meats right here in Ooltewah. And Jeff from Saudi Daisy, you're going to be up next on the phone right here on the Barbecue Show Live with Steve Ray. Stay with us. Good job, Chris.
The closest we got to traveling.
Chris, you're doing good.
Thank you.
Doing real good. Want to thank everybody watching us on Facebook. Jay Land says, ask Chris to talk about some of the house-made sausage. Don't talk about it yet. We'll wait till we get back on the radio, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Let's see. Jay Land also. Jay is he's working the social media hard from South Korea. Isn't the internet wonderful? Jay Land says, I'd ask folks that love barbecue to help us in Seoul. Save Linus Barbecue is the hashtag. Save Linus Barbecue. Please go to GoFundMe, Save Linus Barbecue, and read about a neighbor of his from Alabama that moved to Seoul. His family's from there, and opened the Linus Bama-style barbecue in freaking Seoul, South Korea. Alabama barbecue in Seoul, South Korea. You heard it first right here on the Barbecue Show Live. Go to the FundMe page.
Steve,
is that what, Chris?
He also reps one of our shirts in South Korea too. There's a picture floating around somewhere of him wearing our shirt in his restaurant. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. When my new Owl's Nest shirts come in, I'll have to send one to Jay and give it to Linus.
Yeah, for sure.
I know Jay says he hangs out there, and Jay's quite an accomplished cook on his own.
He is.
He's really good. He says, thanks for the Linus shout-out. That's no problem, Jay. Glad to do it. Of course, now Jay is a contractor in South Korea, but before that, I believe he's I think he's a 30-year man, isn't he, Chris, in the service? Army?
I think so. Yep, I think so. Yes, sir.
I think he was a colonel, lieutenant
yep,
colonel.
He used to jump out of airplanes.
Yeah, he jumped out of perfectly good airplanes.
Yep.
We had him on the show a couple years ago. He came up actually to the studio. It was live in the studio with Frank and I when Frank was on the show with me.
I bet he's worked 30 hours a week with me when he's in town.
Oh, good. I tell you, his personality is made for retail.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
You gotta stay with it in retail, and Jay is. I think it fits him to a T. We'll be heading back to the radio show in just a few seconds. Okay. On commercial break. And Jay says they'll promote anybody. If I was in the Army for 30 years, I'd probably be Corporal Steve Ray. Go up there real close.
Spent millions of dollars too much.
Close to the DMZ and
but we
watch it.
Free Talk Live, 8 to 10, Saturday night, 7 to 10, on Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Part of the show brought to you by Green Mountain Grills, the pellet smokers that are so easy to use, you can even do it. Available at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop in Ooltewah. Steve Ray, your KCBS barbecue professional. Let's go right to the telephones. We're going to travel across the bridge and over the water and up to the way north end of the county to Saudi Daisy. You're on the air, Jeff.
Hello, Steve. Good show tonight, guys.
Well, thank you. How you doing, man?
Young man in South Korea. Let's wish him home safe.
Well, you got that right.
Just a real quick question. As amateur barbecue, trying to avoid mistakes, what is the best wood for beef? And can it be a little bit wet from the rain? And I'll hang up and listen. And thank you guys very much.
All right, Jeff. Thanks for calling from Saudi Daisy. Our number is 267-1023 if you want to get in line. Best wood, that's going to be a little preferable. I'm going to tell you what mine is. Mine is oak. I like the subtleness of oak. It's not a hard taste of wood. It burns very evenly. And the wood can be wet because once you get the fire going, Jeff, it won't be wet very long. That when you know yourself, when you get a good fire going in an offset smoker, man, that thing's probably 18. It could be 1,800 degrees, I would imagine, and and it will dry out that wood. Chris, have you ever? I know you've barbecued a lot. Have you ever had any trouble with the wood being wet or too wet?
The only thing that I've run into with wet wood is if you add it after you've already had a fire going, and it's going to start to steam your meat, so it's going to cook it faster if you're not careful.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The steam will come out.
You'll get a little bit of a smoke, maybe a little wanky smoke too, but if it's rain, what I do is I've got 2 stacks of oak out back of the gas station, Jeff, that I keep for when I break out my stick burners, and we've cooked in plenty of rain at the gas station, and we just take the top layer off, Chris, and voila, dry wood.
Yep,
it's just that simple. We're talking with Chris Bilbray and his wife Sarah owns Spek Artisan Meats here in Ooltewah up at Cambridge Square. Tell me about Cambridge Square, Chris. A very unique setting in Ooltewah. People like me we still can't believe that we have it. Number one, it is such a wonderful place. And when people are new to our area, when they're driving around looking for places to live, you don't know how many times I've heard we decided to move to Ooltewah when we saw Cambridge Square. And right. I'm not kidding about that. How do the guys at Cambridge Square treat you? And do you think it's the best place right now for spec meat, or can you see expanding or moving?
Yeah, so we're not moving. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. We love Cambridge Square. We have from the beginning. This has been 3 years in the making now, or 2.5 years in the making, and it's been nothing but great. And so we love it here. All the tenants in the square are amazing. We've got a bunch of amazing businesses in here, and it's amazing, and it's only going to continue to grow from what we hear. So we're excited.
Yeah.
As far as plans for expansion, that's coming soon, hopefully.
Wow, already 9 months into it, already planning. Quite a residential area behind Cambridge Square now. To me, that is you can't get a better customer base than the people that live right behind the store. It kind of reminds me of the old Mayberry setting.
Right.
I guess you're learning to you're getting to know your neighbors, and I'm sure you've got some regulars.
Yes, sir. We've got quite a few people that live behind us back here that come in quite often, and then we've got several that come in once or twice a week to buy their groceries for the week too. So we've got quite a few, pretty consistent followers that come in every week. It's an amazing thing.
Chris, you said that when they bring you the meat in, it's all inspected beef. If somebody calls and says, hey, I want to get some New York strips, Chris, can they get a custom order from y'all? Can you help them out? I need one I need like a couple 3/4, and I need one or a 2 inch and things like that.
Yes, so that's what makes us a little bit different than most. You can come in and you can pick something out of the case, yes. We like to cut things big if they go in the case because they look cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have several other loins in the back that we can cut them as big or as small that you would like. So, yeah, the answer is we will do custom cuts on anything. It doesn't cost any more. We just do if you're not happy with the way I cut something in the case, I'll cut you something else. So.
Wow. Well, you can't beat that.
Yep.
What
Right.
And Jeff Maxwell must be reading my mind back there in the chat room on the Facebook side of things. Any restaurants buying their meat from you? Because we've got several restaurants that are beef sellers there. And have you any rapport with the different restaurants there at the square?
Yeah, we've got a few in here that we sell some stuff to every once in a while. The government's really weird about us doing wholesale stuff, so we try to stay away from it as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But we do some, yes.
Now you say they're kind of weird. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so if I do more than a certain percentage of sales in wholesale, I have to have a USDA inspector in my building at all times.
Oh, okay.
And that's, and so I don't want to do that. And so we're going to try to stay away from the wholesale as much as possible.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if Marcus runs out of hamburger meat, he can slide down there and get a couple, 2-3 pounds from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So like we've sold some sausage. We've sold some sausage to El Primo. I do know Marcus. Yes, we've sold some stuff to 1885. So yeah, there's a few people in here that we've sold some stuff to.
Well, you know, Marcus over there at Winedown has the best.
Yes, sir.
The best cheeseburger in town. You know that.
All right, you need to come try mine. I like Marcus, but I don't believe that.
Uh-oh. I see it. I see it right now, Chris. A cheeseburger throwdown right there on the square. I love it, man. I love that kind of stuff.
I'm down. I'll turn my grill on right now.
I love it, man. I love it. I told somebody we were talking about cheeseburgers one time, and somebody, we were there mentioning all the places downtown, and I said, hey, I said the best one's right over here at Winedown, and that of course that was before you opened, and so now Chris, if Marcus, if you're listening, or if anybody working over at Winedown's listening, you have just witnessed the throwdown from Chris over at Spek Artisan Meats for the cheeseburger throwdown right there on the square. Chris, I think before you opened, we've had several because you've opened in a year where nobody would open a business. You know what I mean? And the fact that you have been so successful in such a short amount of time is literally incredible, with all the challenges every small business has had.
Yes, sir.
What do you think it would have been like had you opened under normal circumstances?
You mean like worldwide normal circumstances?
Yeah, well, like OOLTEWAH normal
like
circumstances.
No COVID.
No COVID.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot better. I think everybody is starting to make that switch now to trying to go back to supporting, small business, local businesses, and not giving money to the big conglomerates anymore. So, that kind of helps too. That's a loaded question. I really don't know. I do know that if we would have opened in November like we were supposed to, all this probably would have killed us. So it's kind of been a blessing in disguise. Well,
you hit the nail on the head. The support that we get from the OOLTEWAH community is been incredible, and it's been incredible for 38 years. But there is a huge movement right now to keep your dollars local, and I know I've been trying to do that. And people that have come into the gas station, pricing tires, big ticket items that sometimes people would overlook a small mom and pop facility like I've got, and go to the bigger box stores. They're coming in there, and they're giving us an opportunity to earn the business. And that's, as a small business person, that's really all you can ask for, is just give me an opportunity. And I'll
100%.
Yeah,
I'm competing with Publix and Food City right here too, and I don't have the buying power of them. And it's just showing that people are willing to support the small guys again, which is amazing.
Well, yeah, too, but you've got kind of such a niche because, for a lot of people, buying meat is it's a very personal thing, and especially if you're having friends and guests over, you don't I know, I would want to buy something special. Do you get a lot of that? People coming in and saying, "Hey, Chris, I've got, the in-laws coming over. What do you suggest?"
Yes, all the time, actually. I have a couple regulars that'll literally come. They don't even know what they're coming in for. They just come in and say, "Chris, what do you got? What's good? I want to plan a meal." And with me being having the background as a chef, I can literally, tell them recipes or, meal plan for them. Really.
Let's my favorite pictures. I do not eat seafood, but I love to look at pictures of fish, and you've got some big fish there. Talk about the seafood selection.
Yeah, so right now it's a little weird because it's in between seasons and stuff, but we always try to keep Faroe Island salmon, which is from the Faroe Islands over like by Norway and Finland. It's really good stuff. And then depending on seasonal, what other fish are available, we get those too. Like this week I have had halibut from Norway, and then we brought in red grouper from the Gulf. So it just depends. I try to see what's seasonal, and we bring it in depending on what's in season.
Now, how long does it take for a fish to get from Spek to Spek from Norway?
4 days from when it's caught. It is in Atlanta, and I get it the next day.
That is incredible.
Yep.
That they can get a fish to you that fast from the sea of Norway.
It's crazy what they can do with airplanes nowadays.
Yeah. Well, they're still fast. Well, they're faster because nobody's on them.
That's right.
On the Facebook side of things on the show live, Al Salvage says he doesn't mind to spend a little more to take care of a local business, and I applaud that, Al. Al's a great customer of ours, and I know he loves to go down to your store and gawk at the box, so to speak. And now let's talk a little bit before we take the next break. I'll tell you what, let's do this, Chris. Let's take a break real quick, Kurt, and then when we come back, let's do a little sausage talk. How about that, Chris?
That sounds great.
You're listening to the Barbecue Show Live with Steve Ray here on Talk Radio 102.3, and we'll be right back, so stay with us.
WGOW. Everyone should have a chance to make a difference.
Thank you, Kurt. You feeling comfortable now, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a little more comfortable now.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. You're sounding great. You're sounding great.
Thank you.
Hope we get a couple more callers. If you're listening on Facebook, our number is 423-267-1023. 423-267-1023. And in case all those watching on Facebook, behind me on the big 72, that is a picture of Chris's. Chris, what do you call that thing at the shop where you put all the meat? Is there a special name? I'd call it the box, but what is it? Just the showcase?
I don't know. Oh, the case. Yeah.
The showcase. And that's a picture of Chris's showcase right behind me, where you can see. Just looking from here, I think I see some ground beef. I see a good-looking pork butt with a nice fat cap on it. And you know what, Chris, what you've done there? You have placed that pork butt fat side up, which is proper.
It's done on purpose.
That is proper. That is the way a pork butt should be cooked, too, is with the fat side up. And
yes, sir.
Because I'm going to tell you
there's a science to everything, how it looks in the case. There's a reason that everything is in there in the way it is.
Yeah, but the picture of the case looks really good, and
Thank you.
You know as well as I do that right under that fat cap on the pork butt is about a 1/16 of an inch layer of meat. That if you miss that, you've missed the best part of the pork butt. It's
like meat jello.
Yes, it's not a lot of it. There's not a whole lot. That's why if you go to a contest, you'll see people cooking 5-6 pork butts maybe for
so they can get that.
Yeah, so they can accumulate enough of that to put it in the box as their pulled meat, because it is.
Oh, okay.
It is the best meat and I'm talking about of the entire pork butt. I'm talking about the money muscle, the loin part, the horn, the meat that comes right off of the bone is really good, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing. They call that the ice cream, the pork belly like. It's got a pork belly like taste. That's just it's just incredible, just incredible. I love it. I always when I cook my pork butts, I always save that for me.
Right.
I save it for me.
That's kind of like when I do a rib roast, I keep the chain for me. It has those nice little good bits in the tail.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's my reward for cooking dinner for everybody.
That's right.
Tim Cloud has joined us on Facebook. Tim, good to see you. He says, I wished I got to your guys' direction more often. Well, Tim, I can guarantee you that the Midnight Oil, Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply, and Spek Artisan Meats, we are worth the effort to come and see us. And folks listening on watching on Facebook, I'm going to tell you something. Spek Artisan Meats has taken the community by storm. I mean, this is it is a success story that I'm serious, Chris. You have very few rivals as far as your business success goes. I mean, you opened the doors doing things right.
Thank you.
When I opened up
it's been a long time coming.
When I opened up my gas station in 1983, I stood there for weeks by myself.
Really?
Yeah, nobody came in. Of course, there was nobody out there, but
right.
There's certainly one
That's
that
a good
came.
thing about the squares. We got that came.
We have to continue our masks.
I'm happy to hear the mandate
just a second.
loosened up a little bit.
Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3 and on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page. This part of the show brought to you by Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right. We stock all of Malcolm's rubs and sauces and specialty rubs. We have his sausage additions. We have his pickles, sweet and garlic. If it is made by Malcolm. And I'm going to tell you real quick what we've also got now. We have got the How to Barbecue Right poultry brine that comes in the shaker type of canister where you can just measure it out, and you put some of that in a plastic bag. You throw your chicken parts or your whole chicken in there. Add a little bit of chicken stock if you want to. You can add water, but you can add a little chicken stock to make it really good. And let that chicken sit in your refrigerator overnight. Go up to Specs, get you a chicken. Come down to my place and get the brine. Put it in the plastic bag, put some broth in there, chicken broth, and let it sit overnight. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. You will have the juiciest chicken that you have ever put in your mouth. You know, Chris, chicken is one of those meats that so often, even when it's cooked perfectly, it has no taste. You know it?
Yeah, that's because you're buying store-bought, mass-produced chicken. Chicken is supposed to have flavor. And when you buy chicken that is raised right and treated right, it actually has flavor.
Okay. Add a little bit of brine to that, then what do you think you got then? Super flavor.
Oh, you're going to have a killer.
Yeah,
super flavor. And you're going to have a lot more moisture inside of the chickens that we use as well, just because they're not sitting in a salt solution like most grocery store chickens are.
Now, where does Spec get where do y'all get your chickens at?
We actually source them from a few different places. We've had them from Mayfield Farms out of Athens, Tennessee. We've carried Sequatchie Cove Farms chickens before. We use Springer Mountain. It just depends on who I pull from that week.
Okay. Now, do y'all do y'all process the chickens there, or do they come in already processed?
Yeah, no, they come in. Obviously, they come in gutted and feathered. There's no heads or feet on them. They just come in whole like fryers, and then we can break them down from there.
Okay, good. I thought maybe y'all were doing chickens in the backyard like my grandmother used to.
Absolutely not. No, I have chickens on my farm. I'm not doing that here.
Enough with the chicken talk. Hey, let's talk a little bit of sausage. That's something that I am going to get into this spring as one of my, once, during the year I'll pick a special protein that I kind of like to, set my sights on and try to master. And this year for me, it's going to be sausage. And according to Jay, I think you've already mastered the sausage. Let's talk about Spek's Artisan Meat sausage for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about mastering sausage. Sausage is it's pretty hard to master, but we do have quite a few really good sausages. So all the sausages, if anybody ever comes in and sees them in the case, they literally will change pretty much every day. We do have a few staples that are always in the case, but for the most part, they change all the time. And the cool thing about it is they're made here in-house with our recipes and our seasonings, so you can't get these sausages anywhere else in the world because they're made here, and they're made with our recipes. So that's another thing that's a little bit different by us, and it's a little cool. So yeah, it just depends on what we have that week. We always try to have our breakfast sausage, which is a maple, sage, and bacon. So my name Spek translates into bacon in 30-something languages like that. And so we always have bacon in everything just about. And so our breakfast sausage is maple, sage, and bacon. It's really good. And then we always try to keep beer bratwurst in the case too. And then those are really pretty much the only two that are always in there. And then there's probably 15 to 20 more that we rotate.
So now is breakfast sausage, is that in the, gosh, Chris, I don't know what to call it. I see pictures in your social media of the sausage that are in those skins. So the breakfast sausage comes bulk, so you can make your own patties, or you can make gravy with it, whatever. Yeah. Now we can case it for you too. The word you're looking for is casing. We can case it in a natural hog casing too if you want. We just keep it in the bulk form. So y'all have the machine in the back that, I guess Chris, I don't even know how to make sausage. Tell me how to make sausage.
Yeah, so you start with whatever protein you're using. And so in this point, we use pork butts for almost all of our pork sausages. And so you grind it, and then you add seasonings to it. You taste it to make sure the seasonings are good, and then you let that sit overnight. Then you taste them again the next day to make sure your salt level and stuff's not too high. And if it isn't, then you stuff them. And then it just depends on if they're going to be raw sausages or if we add smoke to them after that fact to make them a smoked sausage.
Now you said you taste it. Are these? Do you cook do you smoke the pork butts first, or is it?
No.
No.
All the sausage we make start off raw, right? And then they'll either go in the case raw, or we will add smoke to them to cook them about 3/4 of the way.
I know everybody listening is going, "Dadgum, Steve, you're stupid," I am. I am stupid when it comes to sausage because I know nothing about it. But I'm going to be an expert.
Well,
in about
here's
6
a good
months.
thing. I'm going to be doing sausage classes soon, so you just have to get in on one.
Oh, you're kidding?
No, we're going to be doing butcher classes, cooking classes, sausage classes, all kinds of cool stuff coming.
Oh my goodness! Well, that's what a natural pairing, you and me.
Right.
To
Exactly.
do something, to do a barbecue
sure.
and a meat thing. I mean, that's a no-brainer there, Chris. So So you have a grinder, and then you put those little. I've seen them do it on television, and it goes in those little casings, and then you just.
Yeah, so we take the meat that's after all the seasonings and stuff are in it, and we stuff it. We have a 11-pound stuffer. And so you stuff it in there, and it's just a hand crank, and you crank it, and it stuffs it into the sausage or into the casing, and then we link everything, and then depending on what kind of sausage it is, we process it further.
Okay. Now, is that one of those jobs that when somebody in the store screws up, they get to make the sausage, or is it or is it?
No. So I'll tell you what it is.
Is it an important job?
In some places they are. So it's a little bit different here because we're 100% family run right now. And so my daughter, my 20-year-old daughter, is my apprentice. And so she is the one that is responsible for doing sausages because I don't like making sausages. And so that's what she has to do almost every day is make sausages. Luckily, she loves to do it, and she loves to come up with new recipes too, so it works out.
So she doesn't roll her eyes like my 20-year-old daughter does when I ask her to do something and stomp her feet.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I
got a good daughter. I got lucky.
My friend, yeah, mine's good too, sort of. Pete Winkler has chimed in and says you don't want to know how sausage is made. Now, I don't think that Chris and them.
You don't want to know how big factories make sausage. You can come watch me make sausage any day.
Thank you, Chris. Let's talk about one of my favorite meats, and don't laugh, bologna.
Okay.
Do y'all have bologna?
So we have in the past. Bologna's a pain to make. It takes, I think last time we made it, it took 8 days to make, or 7 days, or something like that to make. And then the flavor, like we've made it 3 times, and it's the exact same recipe, and the flavors come out 3 different ways. So we're still playing with it and still trying to master it.
You know, the thing about bologna, when you put it on a smoker and cook it right, the taste changes so dramatically. You know, Chris, it's almost hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. Especially when you're starting with, you know, we start with pork butt and grind it down, or beef, whatever we're doing. And so when you start from a fresh product too, it's even harder to control that flavor with the smoke. So we're just trying to fine tune it to where it comes out exactly the same every time, so you know what you're getting when you come in.
I can't wait to try the next batch of bologna. You have to give me a buzz or text me and say, come and get it.
I'll make some next week for you.
Sounds good. Hey, we're going to take our last break of the day. You're listening to the Barbecue Show Live with Steve Ray, with my special guest, Chris Bilbra, owner of Spek Artisan Meats, right here in Ooltewah, about 5 miles from me as I sit right now in Cambridge Square, right next to 1885. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Stay with us.
WGOW. Spring is in the air, and let's hope that's all.
Chris, how fun would that be to do a school together, a little class?
Yeah, 100%. I'm down. We can start off and I'm doing my first butcher class on Tuesday, and so you're more than welcome to come watch too, actually, to see kind of how I do it, and then maybe we could do something like that, you know, butcher then barbecue.
What time Tuesday is it?
5 o'clock.
Ooh, you know what? Tuesday at 5 works really good for me.
Okay. Yeah, we're starting at 5, so it'll be yeah, we'll be here.
Oh, I will be there.
Okay. I
will be there. That is so cool. I want to remind everybody.
Yeah, and actually the pig. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what I was just going to remind everybody that the Barbecue Show Live, we were honored to be nominated for an award from the National Barbecue Association as in the media division. And thanks, Kurt, I got it. And we are then Thursday night live on the NBBQA Facebook page. They will be announcing those awards. So we will be watching and let you know next Friday if we are the recipient of one of those awards from the National Barbecue Association. We were thrilled to death to be nominated.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Now, Al Salvage and Jeff, you guys make a date. Tuesday at 5, we'll all be down at Spek Artisan Meat, and we will watch Chris do a butcher class. Should we bring our own? Can we bring our own knives?
No.
What? I got a chain apron too, man. Can I wear that?
Yeah, you can bring it. Come on.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait. That's perfect time. I mean, that's the most wonderful time of the week for me. When we go back on the air, we'll have about 4 minutes left, and then first thing we'll do is hit John. He's on the phone on hold for us. Okay, Chris?
Yeah.
Can Jeff come too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Jeff, you can come. Al can come. Al says sausage just doesn't taste like it once did from the stores.
Yeah, come try mine again. I'm all about big, bold flavors.
Okay, good. I like sausage. I like sausage, biscuits. I like to make little breakfast burritos and throw some sausage in it.
Yeah, so there's actually a new coffee shop over on Brainerd Road called Lola Beans, and they're selling our breakfast burritos, our sausage biscuits, and our chicken salad wraps now.
You make that stuff at the store?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. I need to get out more often. I tell you how lazy I am. I've gotten during this COVID thing. We ran out of coffee cups, and I ordered them from Sam's. I didn't even drive to Sam's, Chris. I ordered them.
That's funny.
I ordered them online from Sam's. Is that not horrible?
Yeah, well, it makes it. I mean, like, I do the same thing here. Like when I want coffee and stuff, instead of going to the store, I just get on Amazon and have it shipped to the store. So
yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Same difference. Yeah, it is.
I mean, and that's worse. You're worse than me. You can't even walk over to Bilo.
I know, right?
Or Food City, rather.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Tennessee Housing Development Agency.
American military aircraft struck targets in eastern Syria. The Defense Department says the attack targeted Iranian-backed militias.
When big things happen. WGOW. Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show Live. Special guest Chris Bilbra from Spek Artisan Meats right here in Ooltewah. Let's go to the phones. We have two lines open. John, you are on live with Chris and Steve. What's up?
Well, I just wanted to say that my grandparents had a farm up in Bradley County when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back in the mid to late 60s, early 70s. And, well, anyway, to make a long story short, he would always tell us, the whole family, not to buy anything from the grocery store because you don't know what they put in it. And my grandfather would make the sausage, he would make the bacon, and he would make hot dogs.
Okay.
And it was just one of the wonderful things. That sausage was just fabulous.
Yep. So those three things you said are three of my biggest sellers.
Okay. Well,
yep.
Hopefully they're hopefully they're coming local.
Thanks, John.
They are. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. How much we got, Kurt? 1 minute?
No, you've got a little over 3 minutes left.
Fantastic. Special guest Chris Bilbra with us from Spek Artisan Meats right here in Ooltewah. Chris, what are the hours of Spek? And what are some things, some specials that you've got going this week?
Yeah, so we are open every day except Monday. Everybody's pretty much closed out here in Cambridge, and so we just decided to close on Monday as well. So we're here 11 to 7 every day, and then Sunday we are here from 12 to 4. And like I stated earlier, we do lunch now Wednesday through Saturday from 11:30 to 2:30. As far as specials, I've got a few things going on right now in my cases. I've got prime New York strips and prime ribeyes on sale for $22 a pound, and I've got prime porterhouses on sale for $27 a pound. Ooh. And then I'll be running some more stuff tomorrow as far as specials and stuff as well.
Prime porterhouse. Can you get that cut different thicknesses?
Yes, sir. I've got a bone saw. I can cut them as big or small as you'd like.
Steak Florentine ring a bell, Chris?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh.
Spinach and cream sauce. Yep, sounds really good.
You know, it's when, if you're wondering what that is, you take a porterhouse and you cook it up to about 120 degrees, and it's got to be about 1.5 inches, 2 inches thick, and then you stand it up on its end, and you heat the bone, and you let the bone actually finish the porterhouse from the inside going out instead of the outside going in.
I haven't heard that in years.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
I did a video of it. It's on the YouTube channel. If anybody wants to go watch Owl's Nest Barbecue on the YouTube channel, look for the Steak Florentine video. It is incredible. It is an incredible way to prepare steak, and I'm not kidding. A porterhouse has never tasted that good. Is to do it Florentine style. It is an amazing way to cook a steak. It's fun too.
Got about 1.5 minutes, Steve.
It's fun. Thanks, Kurt. We appreciate it. Chris Bilbra with Spek Artisan Meats in Cambridge Square. Tell us about the Butcher Class Tuesday, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give a whole bunch of information out because it's not open to the public. And so please don't have 100 people show up to my store because I will not let you in, just to be honest. So, yeah, we were going to be doing more of these coming up. This is just something that I'm doing, a little small intimate class for somebody that I know. But we're going to try to do them coming up at least once a month to where it'll be maybe 4 or 5 people, me, a half of a pig. We're going to break the whole thing down, We're going to make sausage. We're going to cook some, and then I'm going to send you guys home with some pork. So keep a lookout for that. You can go to our website at spekmeats.com and sign up for our newsletter, and that's where you get all that information for that. We drop them every week. So, yeah.
That is Spek Meats without the C, S-P-E-K, which means
yes,
it translates into
meats.com.
It translates
into bacon.
Bacon in German, correct?
In German has a C. The spelling we picked is a South African spelling, but yes, it's the same thing.
Well, that's
30 seconds. 30
that's
seconds.
The same one I would have picked too. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being a guest here on the Barbecue Show Live. Next week we've got open mic again. I heard from so many people that they enjoyed it. We're going to do it again next Friday night, and our special guest will be none other than the cookout coach himself, Steve Dotson, a YouTube sensation and a great guy from West Virginia. If you've got questions, he'll have your answers. We'll see you right back here next Friday night at 7 on the Barbecue Show Live. Until then, good night and good luck.
We've got it covered.
WGOW FM.
Sunny Daisy, Chattanooga.
Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You did a great job, and I appreciate the invite Tuesday. I will be there. I will not let you down, okay? And I will stay out of the way. Okay?
Yeah, no worries, buddy. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
No problem. Okay, thanks so much, Chris.
He recommended the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. He authorized
everybody on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching.
Tufts University School of
Thank you so much for listening. Perry Collins has chimed in. Perry got a set of.
I think it's important that people do not
on
think
LTX MS today, Aaron, and we put him on his truck. And Perry, the credit card company is working again. You know, it's funny, out in Ooltewah and all over, actually, a lot of us in the automotive business, and which is what I do in my real job. And, of course, the barbecue store is my real job, too, but the gas station is my longest running real job. What would you say, Aaron? I still work at the gas station, don't I? Shake your head up and down. Thank you, Aaron, very much. And the credit card network went out today, and it was out for a long, long time, and it doesn't happen very, very often, but when it does, it's a pain in the neck. And I just want Perry tried to pay for his tires, and we couldn't because the network is down. So, did the other camera go bad? Did it? So what we have hooked up didn't work.
Yeah, I guess it ran out.
Everybody watching on Facebook, if you were here earlier, you saw a great picture of me. It wasn't me; it was the camera. We got our new camera working, and it didn't last throughout the show. But thankfully we had the backup camera. Okay, we're going to get out of here, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Jeff, back at your house, thank you so much. Chris Bilbra, thank you for joining us. And Perry, thank you for joining us. Al, and all of those. Pete, for watching and playing along with us. We had a great time, and we'll be back here next Friday night at 7. And like we always say, in memory of the great Edward R. Murrow, good night.